Welcome to the October 12th, 2020 Columbus Day edition of Rant-Om Thoughts, where we grill and kill sacred cows for your whining and dining pleasure. And speaking of dining, I had a very exquisite lunch yesterday at the Velvet Grill here in Modesto. Now it's a regional chain, but the Modesto locations, the McHenry one being on the location on McHenry Boulevard, being one of the most popular eateries in town. They've been under quite a bit of fire lately. These past 2 months in contravention of Governor Newsom's COVID restrictions, they have continued to operate indoor dining. Now, they still urge patrons to engage in social distancing and stuff like that. But because they've been continuing to operate indoors and serve patrons indoors, the Neighborhood Preservation Unit, local bureaucrats who drive around in white Crown Vics with the words code enforcement stenciled on the doors, people who fine folks for having their hedges that are too tall or having quote unquote debris on their lawn. Well, now they've taken on COVID enforcement because the Modesto Police Department doesn't want to do it. And they appear to be enjoying it quite a bit. And for the past 2 months now, they have been fining the McHenry location and the Dale Road location $1,000 a day. They have now racked up $60,000 in fines. There will be a hearing Tuesday to appeal the fines. I intend to be there to show moral support. I hope everything goes their way. Because we need to stop living in fear. We need to take back our lives. We need to take back our freedom. And Mayor Brandvold agrees. He wants to reopen Modesto and stop enforcement of these measures. And effectively nullify Gavin Newsom's orders. The United States Constitution, as anyone who remembers civics class will tell you, guarantees to each state a Republican form of government, small r. So, what is the remedy when you have governors like Gavin Newsom or Whitmer over in Michigan or DeWine over in Ohio or Cuomo in New York assuming dictatorial control over state. And one way I guess we could go about doing that is for localities to just stand firm, say no, you know, nullify it, just effectively ignore, these illegal orders. So I'm going to stand with Velvet. I'll try my best to be there Tuesday. I'll try to stand up because working graveyard shift, and I'll probably be a little bit sleepy. Maybe I'll down one of them 5-hour energy drinks, but before going. But this is something that's very much worthy of our support. And now there's an event I'm trying to put together, and hopefully by the time I'm able to get it together, it will still be there, because that would be the appropriate venue for what it is I have in mind. I won't go into too much detail about that yet. I'll let you know when that materializes and is going to happen. Yeah. If it ends up not being the Velvet Grill for some reason or other, I'll find some other place to hold this. Yeah. In other news, Ben Jones. Some of you might remember him as Cooter from Dukes of Hazzard. The the company that handles their internet stuff has given Jones an ultimatum to stop selling Rebel memorabilia, including Rebel flags. Jones is sticking to his gun, and he dropped them first. So he's put a lot of his he's putting a lot of his stuff on sale to raise money to get his own in-house thing going on, I guess. I'm going to leave the video to that in the description below. Ben Jones, in addition to being an actor and a musician, he's also a very, very fervent defender of Southern heritage. And so it's very worth defending. Yeah. And the interesting thing about Ben Jones is that he isn't exactly Mr. rock-ribbed conservative. I mean, he used to be a Democrat congressman. Newt Gingrich would campaign against him and call him a hippie and stuff. So it's really funny. But I've ordered stuff from Ben Jones's site, so there's a lot of Confederate memorabilia on there, and a lot of Dukes of Hazzard stuff as well. Yeah. I'm actually old enough to remember when it was in its first run. Came on right after The Incredible Hulk. Friday nights, if I remember correctly. And then Dallas came on right after that. But I'll leave that stuff down there below, and I'll leave some more information on the Velvet Grill and what they're going through. Yeah. Now, one more thing before I, before I sign off. Like I've said repeatedly, I don't cut people off over differences of opinion, over having differing political or religious views or anything like that. But there are just things that are unacceptable and beyond the pale. For instance, back in 2016, so a lot of you might remember, you know, Donald Trump waged a war on civility and decency, and a lot of his supporters took that as a war on political correctness, mistook it for a war on political correctness. And then there are those who took it as permission to be more open with racist and anti-Semitic sentiments. And this resulted in people that, some of whom I'd known for years, even decades, who I would have never have expected in a billion years of holding such sentiments, suddenly blasting the Facebook news feeds with Zog this, Zionist that, Jew this, and I'm not just talking about disagreements with political Zionism or America's relationship with the Israeli government, or even being, say, a Christian who has fundamental disagreements with Judaism. No, I'm talking about blind, naked hatred, full bore against Jewish people, as in sharing memes that depict the stereotype, as in singling Jews out as the cause of everything bad going on in the world. The funny part is that while they were hardcore Trumpers, they would go through all sorts of weird mental gymnastics to explain away his daughter's marriage to Jared Kushner, who is a Jew. But I just got tired of seeing that in my feed, so I had to play block button whack-a-mole for 2 days. Wound up getting rid of like 60 people. The following year, a Bernie Sanders supporter attempted to murder some Republican congressmen who were practicing for the congressional baseball game, which raises funds for charities. And there were some people who cheered it like it was some kind of heroic deed. And you know what? I can despise a person occupying an elected office, but I still respect the office. I don't support or condone assassinating elected officials. You know, so I had to get rid of some of those people. One of them was pardon my French, a total dumbass. Had Dr. Paul as his profile pic and didn't seem to care that one of this man's intended victims was his son. Then this year I had to clean out my list again of people supporting the the communist-led street violence, and you know, and that was just beyond the pale. You know, I don't like having to do that because I do like having a diversity of viewpoints on my page, but if you're going to support destroying people's livelihoods, support destroying our neighborhoods, and then get upset when honest citizens dare to defend themselves. Well, that's another thing about these people. They prefer their victims unarmed. That's why they want to throw the book at Kyle Rittenhouse and the McCloskeys. So I had to get rid of those people too. Yeah. I mean, there are just some things that are just unacceptable. Yeah, and now you've got some. Now I've decided I'm going to have to purge people who defend pedophilia. You know, because that's just wrong and beyond the pale too. I mean, you know, children cannot consent. It's wrong. Yeah. I mean, the upside though is now my Facebook feed is more civilized. One person I did enjoy blocking was a fella I went to high school with by the name of Jimmy Menezes. He's the guy's a housemaid who thinks he's a stand-up comic. You know. I mean, if you go to his Facebook page, his status updates and his rants read like a mishmash of the Unabomber Manifesto and Rage Against the Machine lyrics. If I, but it's worse than that. I also just got tired of the personal insults too. You know. If I were to ask him if he thought that the execution of the Romanov children by the Bolsheviks were justified, he would say yes. And then he would call me a Peckerwood, Klansman, racist, incel for disagreeing with him. That's the kind of person we're dealing with here. Yeah. Neighbor's dog. Can't do anything about it. You know. And he was like that even in high school. I remember when he wrote an editorial for the school newspaper in favor of eugenic abortions and euthanizing disabled children. Yeah. Bayer High School's school newspaper let him run that. Why? Probably because his rich and politically connected parents, would have gone all lawsuit on them if they had pulled it. That's why. But yeah, I'm glad I cut that toxic person out of my life. You know, feel a whole lot better now. Well, that's going to be it for now. Uh, busy day today. Busy day tomorrow. Between some activism stuff that I've taken on and work, I'm going to get very little rest in the coming months. Not just the rest of the election season, but after, because the most important day in the political year is the day after, when we inaugurate the next campaign to save America. Well, happy Columbus Day. Reopen America. Think while it's still legal. Vote gold. Smoke them if you got them. I will see y'all later.